What's going on, guys? It is Friday. We're back with another weekend review or week preview. I'm going to give you some things to look forward to in June. We'll talk about next week's program real quick. First thing to think about for June is tomorrow, June 1st. We've got some spots left for the clinic. If you want to come to the pelvic floor clinic, please let us know ASAP. There are a couple spots left open on that. The next thing to be aware of in June is every Sunday, Erica is going to be leading a hike this Sunday, 9 a.m., Aurora Verde in Ventura. We're all going to meet at the trailhead, and Erica is going to lead us through that hike on Sunday morning. We'd love to see you there. That's also going to be our challenge for this month is get outside and use some of your fitness. So every time that you go on that Sunday hike, you'll get 2 entries into a raffle. If you go on a hike on your own at some point during the week and you post a picture and tag us in it, you're going to get 1 entry into that raffle. So let's get outside. Let's use some fitness. That'll be our challenge for this coming month. Don't forget, Amber is here during the week to do massages. If you haven't got a massage from her, your first massage is $5 off. It's a great deal. She is amazing. Kyla is also here doing massages under her same name, Forever Balanced Body. They are great. If you want to book spots, they go quickly. So make sure you get it done ahead of time. Then some really fun and exciting news that just came out. We are actually going to be hosting a comedy show on June 21st at 8 p.m. They're going to come in and set up after the 5:30 class on that Friday evening. Tickets for all of you guys, for members, will be free, and I'll be giving you a link very, very soon. But for everybody else, this will be open to the entire Oxnard area. They'll have tickets for sale, but as a perk for being a member, you'll be getting into this comedy show for free. Super excited. I'm really excited about being at this comedy show on June 21st. Immediately following the comedy show, Saturday, we've got the Persistence Culture competition on June 22nd. That's going to go all day, probably start at 7:30 or 8 a.m. We've got some teams signed up. Remember, I'll put that link down below to get you signed up for that as well if you've got teams. If you got questions about it, for sure, let me know. Send me a DM, send me an email, and we'll get in touch. The next little thing that I want to talk about, and I've been having more and more of these conversations with members and with prospects and even friends and family. I've been having these conversations about, when does a program work for me and when does it not work for me? How do I find the thing that's the right fit? What do I spend my money on? What do I not spend my money on? And I keep coming back to the same endpoint on all of these pieces. When you are going into something, the best case scenario, when we're talking about our program, if you want our program to work for you, you have to work for it. That sort of applies to so many different areas, and I've been coming up with this so many different ways in the last couple of months of like, hey, how do I make the most out of this online course? Or how do I make the most out of, like, is this worth this? Am I going to be able to get my money's worth out of that? The easiest way to get your money's worth out of anything that you sign up for is to put the time and effort into whatever you're doing. So for us, putting the time and effort means, hey, this is worth your money if you show up, right? If you talk to the other people that are in classes, if you show up to our community events, if you read our posts about nutrition, you read our emails about how to get better sleep, this will work for you. But it can't be handed to you. You have to take it. Because so much stuff is laid out to us with hands open, right? It's ready for you to be taken. But unless you actually grab it and use it for yourself, nothing's going to work. And that applies to our fitness, but that also applies to our education in any other realm. Like, you have to actually go out and hands-on practice it. If I want to get the most out of this, let me do some extra practice. Let me do some extra follow-up. Let me set up a meeting with my coach or my teacher, per se, if I'm doing education. If I'm learning a new skill, I could watch some videos, but then I have to actually take it on myself to practice and be consistent on a weekly basis. If I'm trying to learn how to swim, if I'm trying to learn how to climb, I have to actually show up to the climbing gym to learn how to climb. So so often we take the responsibility, the impetus off of ourselves and we lay it on something else. Hey, this doesn't work for me. This doesn't work for me. This doesn't work for me. In my opinion, anything can work for you if you work for it. In our case, when I'm talking about our CrossFit program, it works. It's undeniable. I've seen hundreds, if not thousands of people, not only at our space, but other CrossFit gyms, maybe even hundreds of thousands of people, other CrossFit gyms around the world, that this program works. But the biggest thing for this program, if you want it to work, you got to show up when you want to, when you don't want to. You got to put in the work and you got to do it for a little while. You got to ask questions. You got to be involved. Show up to the events, talk to the coaches. When we ask for a sit down and talk with the coach. That's how you get the most results out of this. If you're wanting to join something, a program of any kind, and you think, oh, I'll sit back and I'll let them do the work for me and I'll just kind of skim and learn some things here and there, it's not going to work for you. You need to work for it in order for it to work for you. All right, that's my little quick rant for Friday. Let's get into some of our programming for this week. Okay, this is week 3 of our 8-week strength cycle. On Monday, we've got some hang power cleans. We're looking to move up to 60%. On Tuesday, we've got nothing for our strength cycle. On Wednesday, we have a 3-2-1-1-1, working up to a heavy front squat. We're looking up to like 85-90% on our front squat there. On Thursday, then, so if you're not usually attending a Thursday, you could have hit a Thursday this week. We're doing that similar 3-2-1-1-1 in a shoulder press, building up to that 85-90%. And Friday, we've got nothing for our strength cycle. Now let's look into some of the workouts for the week. All right, on Monday, we've got those hang power cleans that we'll be doing at the beginning of class. And then our workout is 3 rounds of 30 overhead squats at 95-65, 30/24 cals on the bike. Every time that you break the overhead squats, you're going to complete 10 box jump overs at 20 inches. Our goal here is that this finishes between 9 and 11 minutes and a time cap at 14 minutes. If you ask me, this is an insanely aggressive time plan and cap. So if you're looking at this and being like, oh, 95-65 doesn't seem that heavy, 2 things. Doing 3 sets of 30 air squats unbroken every single time is already difficult. That's not adding a barbell overhead. So if we put a empty barbell overhead, doing 30 overhead squats with an empty barbell is still going to be difficult. Then if I add a little bit of weight, it's going to be far more difficult. So our goal is to be as close to unbroken as we possibly can on these overhead squats. 30 overhead squats is a lot of overhead squats for shoulder fatigue. That first round, you want to be unbroken. That second round, as close to unbroken as you can, 1 break. And on that third round, only 1 break as well. So you're only doing 2 sets of those box get overs in between on that bike. Now the bike, 30/24 cals, that should be taking you, best case scenario, 2 minutes. Worst case scenario, you're looking more like 2.5, 3 minutes. So if we need to cut those back so that you can get that in that minute 30 to 2 minutes, that's where we need to be at for cal range. Otherwise, you will not finish this in the 9 to 11 minute range. That's what Monday is. Tuesday is actually going to be a little bit of a special day for us. We're going to do a hero WOD from somebody that's very special. Nathan Martin is the hero WOD that we're going to be doing on Tuesday, June 4th, which you'll see why this was the case. Nathan Martin was a Oxnard police officer. He was married to Marita Martin, and he was killed on just getting off of his shift on an afternoon on June 4th. And we came up with a workout to remember him. And the workout is an AMRAP 20 with 100 push-ups of a buy-in, because he would do 100 push-ups every morning, no matter what. And then we're going to do 6 box jumps at 24-20, 4 bar muscle ups, 75 double unders, and 45 wall ball shots at 20/14. And the numbers have a little bit of significance here. 6/4 was the day that he died. 74 is the year, 1974 is the year he was born, and 45 is how old he was. So this is a great memorial WOD for Officer Nathan Martin. Enjoy it. This is going to be a fun one. We're going to tough it out, a little bit of suffering. If you participated in MRF, this will be a slightly less difficult variation of this. We are also inviting anybody from the Oxnard Police Department to come in and can participate in this workout with us on this day. All right, on Wednesday, we're going to look at those heavy front squats, a 3-2-1-1-1. After those heavy front squats, we're going to go into 4-time, a 15-10-5, where we're going to do deadlifts and shuttle runs. Deadlifts are going to be 225, 155, so those should all be unbroken. And shuttle runs at 50 feet, so 25 feet out, 25 feet back is 1. After you've done 15 deadlifts, 15 shuttle runs, 10 deadlifts, 10 shuttle runs, 5 deadlifts, 5 shuttle runs, we're going to go right into 15 wall walks. After those 15 wall walks, we're going to go back into the opposite direction. 5 deadlifts, 5 shuttle runs, 10 deadlifts, 10 shuttle runs, 15 deadlifts, 15 shuttle runs. This is looking to be 11 to 13 minutes with a cap of 16 minutes. The two biggest things to be thinking about here is wall walks and deadlift weight. Wall walks and deadlift weight. We do not be wanting to be spending more than 3 minutes on those wall walks portions. That's about 5 wall walks every single minute. That doesn't seem like a lot, but once we're under fatigue, that is actually feels like a lot of wall walks. The second thing is the deadlift weight, 225, 155. That feels doable, but we got to remember the amount of fatigue that we're going to be under. So 25, 30 reps on each end. You want to make sure that you're getting those close to unbroken every single time, if not 1 to 2 sets. All right, Thursday, we have our 3-2-1-1-1 for shoulder press. After those shoulder press, we're going to go into a 5 rounds for time workout where we got 21 kettlebell swings, 21 wall ball shots, 42 crossover single unders. The goal here is that we're in that 14 to 16 minute time domain and we're in an 18-minute cap. 5 rounds of anything is a lot of rounds, right? So we want to make sure that we are picking weights and wall balls that we're hitting unbroken every single time. If we're looking for 5 rounds in 15 minutes, that's 3 minutes per round. That's 1 minute of kettlebell swings, 1 minute of wall ball shots, and 1 minute of crossover singles. If we're moving outside of those 1 minute ranges, we're not going to be finishing this. So making sure, hey, we're choosing our reps appropriately and our weight appropriately so that we're getting in that 15-minute range. And then on Friday, happy Friday, this is going to be a fun workout. We've got a 21, 18, 15 of dumbbell bench press, chest bar pull-ups, into a 12, 9, 6 dumbbell bench press and 9, 6, 3 of bar muscle ups or burpee pull ups. So 12 dumbbell bench, 9 bar muscle ups, 9 dumbbell bench, 6 bar muscle ups, 6 dumbbell bench, 3 bar muscle ups. We're looking at that 8 to 10 minute time range. The time cap of 14 minutes is going to be a great opportunity to practice and drill some of those muscle up drills and even practice some of those pull up drills as well. We've got that dumbbell bench and that upper body pull as well. Following that, as a reminder, subscribe here if you aren't already subscribed. This is where I'm putting out content all the time. I'm trying to put up new useful videos for you guys as well, talking about CrossFit, talking about training, talking about things that you can be doing better to get the most out of your membership here or in health and fitness in general. Our online store is up. Our podcast is live. I'll link some of those down below. Then this coming week, final thing, we have our online coaches development program. It is dropping on next week. It is going to be live. The first 20 people who sign up for the online coaches development program, which we spent the last 9 or 10 months actually putting this content that we do on a yearly basis every single January for new coaches. We've made this content available and accessible on an online edition. We've recorded all of the lectures. We've put them in a PDF workbook for you. We've put together all of the slide decks and organized them. We've put together quizzes for every single portion, and we've organized the practical portion so that it is the most relevant for you. The first 20 people who sign up for this are going to get a great discount. I want to get some feedback on how this is going to help you go to the next level. This is perfect for somebody who might be wanting to take that next step from athlete to coach. It is perfect for somebody who might be an athlete, but is consistently doing RX workouts and wants to see, hey, what does the next step look like for me as an athlete? And taking that shift into a coach's perspective helps significantly in the coach's eye as well. So be on the lookout for that, and we'll be dropping it next week. Have a great Friday, and we'll talk to you guys soon.